I guess that's all, folks.
Mr. Allen.
Alan, I'm sorry to be late.
I was wondering what happened to you, Henry.
Well, I've been working on our impregnating ink idea, and you know I think I found a new reactor. I'm trying 3 parts acetone.
That's fine, Henry. We won't keep you long. Right now, we want to present to you your membership certificate and pin and welcome you to the 25-year club. It means something when 1 out of every 6 or 7 workers has been with the company 25 years and more. I want you to know, too, Henry, it's an honor to all of us who already wear the 25-year pin every time a man like you earns one.
Well, thank you, sir. "25 years. It's a long time." No, it isn't. Not when you're looking back at it. Seems more like the day before yesterday. It's funny what a lot of thoughts crowd into a fellow's mind at a time like this. I remember that first morning. I can see it as plain. Pete Wills gave me a lift in his car and then tried to talk me out of coming in.
Well, here we are, Henry. But I think you're making a mistake.
Biggest company in their line.
Yeah, but what are they going to do when they run out of places to sell them cash registers? They've got them about every place now. Those folks will be out of a job.
Doesn't look like it to me.
You got to think of your future, Henry. Some young, growing concern that still has a chance to go places.
Maybe so, but...
Besides, what's your chemistry training got to do with making cash registers?
I don't know yet. Maybe I just want to work here.
Good luck.
Thanks, Pete. That was it. I just wanted to work here. Starting some 40 years before that, with 13 employees, this company had taken a crude idea and developed it into the most widely used machine in the handling of money and records in the whole world. I've seen some of those early models since and heard some fantastic stories about them. When the first cash registers came out, some people were suspicious of them. They took the new machines to be a challenge to their honesty, instead of a faster, more accurate way of keeping track of sales. Fortunately, this opposition didn't last long, but there just at first, some of the rougher element tried to run cash register men out of town. And in those days, it took a brave man to be an NCR salesman, and clever at hiding his samples.
What's he look like, Jed?
I ain't seen him. Give me a drag.
Here he comes now.
You won't come peddling them things around here anymore.
You sure it's him? He ain't dressed like no drummer.
He ain't carrying no case.
Good evening. Good evening.
Evening.
What's he carrying that bumbershoot for? It ain't raining?
Maybe he's the new preacher.
I go on back and sit down. Give me that butt.
There he goes into Noah's Ark. Maybe he's gonna buy something.
Hey, how long are we gonna wait around here?
Why don't you make like a hoop and roll away?
Skidoo to you two.
You want to talk private? Here'll do.
Mr. Purdy, I'm from the National Cash Register Company of Dayton, Ohio. Now, here is some new information about our new total adder. And this is a 3-key sample model.
Well, dog my kittens.
Many such thoughts flashed through my mind that morning 25 years ago. Why, the place was alive with tradition. Of course, I never dreamed then of the 2-block-long assembly lines we have today. I wasn't even thinking primarily of making better cash registers. Everyone tries to make a better product. But here was a company that had gone at it from an entirely new angle. It set out to improve the conditions under which the product was made, not only for the sake of the product, but for the sake of the workers, too. They were given the first daylight factory. The walls were made 80% glass. The first welfare department for employees was established, which has been the model for industrial relations ever since. The first inside-the-plant dining room for the workers that has today grown into 9 different dining rooms, not counting the main auditorium where the workers can take their lunches and watch a movie while they eat. It is a common saying around Dayton, you don't have to carry lunch buckets to NCR. You get a home-cooked meal in the middle of the day, just like home. And a choice of pleasant surroundings where the folks can eat together and talk over problems or just have fun. The first factory medical section with free company doctor and nurses in attendance, sick benefits, group insurance, and so forth. Some of these ideas came from the employees themselves. Suggestion boxes were scattered through the factory and office buildings, another first in industry. The idea came from the legendary slot in the wall of the Doge's palace in ancient Venice. A citizen could write out his criticisms and suggestions which the authorities could study without knowing who made them. Payments to employees for suggestions used total thousands of dollars a year, and the company has more than 100,000 eyes and ears constantly watching and listening for ways to do things better. The salesmen were shown how a definite need for their product already existed in millions of places. The only catch being they had to learn not only everything about their machines, but about all the businesses for which the machines were designed. The result was threefold. NCR salesmen became experts in business systems and methods, and they developed a brand new concept in creative selling. The business world calls it the beginning of modern salesmanship. And I want to tell you, it's as fascinating to me today as it was the first time. The way those machines grow right before your eyes. The skilled hands that put together up to 20,000 parts in a single machine. Many of them not only more intricate, but more precise than the works of the finest watch. They have to be. They have to work longer and harder. They can't ever be almost right. They have to be exactly right, each time, every time, all the time. Everything we do ends up in figures. Figures on wheels. Big wheels, little wheels, round wheels, and decagonal. Figures on tabs and indicators, round, square, flat, and rectangular. Figures stamped on, rolled on, and painted on through silk. Figures black on white and white on black. Figures that are every color of the rainbow. Figures that pop up, spin around, and march up and down and sideways to infinity. I don't say we invented figures, but we put more of them to work than anybody I know. I knew in the early 1900s, Colonel Deeds had brought in a young electrical engineer, Charles F. Kettering. He also invented the self-starter for automobiles. His job at our place was to design a motor strong enough to operate a cash register, small enough to fit inside of it. Since then, the register had been expanded, developed, and refined until it seemed to me, even 25 years ago, that it could do about everything for a merchant except maybe deliver his packages. had this hunch that a company smart enough to make a machine like this, the like of which had never been seen before, and now it was in daily use all over the world, would be smart enough to come up with something else. And they were, as I soon found out. Oh, yes, and I also needn't have worried about getting to use my chemistry training. I was amazed at all the different kinds of specialists it took to run this business. Technicians in fields I never dreamed would have anything to do with cash registers. Authorities on things as different as synthetic rubber and metallurgy, printing ink and plastics, eye health and store traffic. Anyway, I was running some polarized light tests one day not long after I started here when the department head walks in.
How you coming, Henry?
Almost done.
Good. They've just thrown some new specs at us. An accounting machine with a typewriter built into it.
A typewriter?
Yes, for descriptive billing. It'll open a new field for us.
Man, O'Day.
It'll double our market at least.
You know something? Someday we may be doing as much business in accounting machines as we now do in cash registers.
You know something? You might be right.
Looking back at myself 25 years ago, I think that's pretty good prophesying. We went on to the utility billing machine, the bank posting machine, the payroll machine, all from one little idea. But was it a dandy? With all our many specialists, for years they've been trying to find a better drive. The old tube within a tube system then in use had many limitations. Here's how one pair of those 100,000 eyes and ears were on the lookout for the good of the company. One Saturday afternoon, Walter Kreider, a model maker in the model shop at the plant, was mowing his lawn when his mower hit a stick or something. He stooped to clear the blades, and his eyes lighted on something. It was as though he were seeing a lawnmower for the first time. Sometime later, his wife found him in his cellar workshop.
Oh, there you are. Didn't you hear me? I've been calling you for supper.
Mama, I've got it.
You have, dear? Got what? I found the lawnmower with the grass half cut.
That's where I got the idea, see? A wheel within a wheel. That'll do it.
What are you talking about?
See the square hole on the inside wheel? That's the drive wheel. We can run a square rod through that. And when we turn the square rod, it turns the inside wheel. That turns the outside wheel. But when we turn the square rod in the round hole, nothing happens. See, Mama?
No. Come to supper.
All they have to do is stand up the rod and slip the wheels down over it.
And that is how today, in the patented process, the drive shafts are built up with their wheels in any desired combination or series to compute and tabulate and verify as many as 10, 20, even 30 and more columns of figures at a time. Such as in the payroll machine. Utility billing, and all the others. All made possible by the little wheel. I call it the magic wheel. Yes, your thoughts sure crowd in on you at a time like this. Like when I was a boy, I used to hear when a person drowned, his whole life flashed before him in those few seconds. For years, I was almost afraid to swim. I needn't have worried any more than I needed to worry about coming with the company 25 years ago. And think what it will be in the next 25 years. Over in engineering right now, they are working on machines, some of them electronic, the world may not see for another 5 or 10 years yet. That new finish can take it. Yes, sir. Everything they do here today, tomorrow they do better. To take a business that's already the leader and make it even better. I wish now I'd told Mr. Allen that when he gave me the pin. Look at the spirit around here. You feel it anywhere you go in the plant. That NCR family spirit is no bunk. At least they work together like they mean it, and they play together like they mean it, whether it's noon-hour quoits with rubber tires and pegs they stick in the floor between the assembly lines, or dartball, or ping pong, checkers or chess, or noontime movies. Or after hours, or on weekends and holidays when we get together at Old River. The park created by the company for the employees, a stone's throw from the plant. Thank golly, NCR isn't only a good place to work, it's a way of life. For that matter, life for all of us is richer today than it was even 25 years ago. We are living longer, but better yet, our years are fuller. We have more things to do, but strangely enough, we have more time to do them. That is because the whole tempo of our existence has been speeded up. We have more time to enjoy pleasant places. Yes, sir. A very pleasant, highly satisfactory life. Right within the family, our people have every chance to upgrade themselves. Our NCR evening schools, the first of their kind, have been running for more than 50 years. Nor do we consider that our responsibility ends at the factory gate. Every week in the year, several thousand Dayton children swarm to the Saturday morning free movies and other entertainment at the auditorium. Every boy and girl in Dayton that graduates from high school gets his or her diploma on the same NCR stage. In the selling end tool, we have made the same solid advance. The company, realizing the need for a quiet place where salesmen could be trained, a site was selected, an old sugar camp overlooking the factory. First, a tent city. Then Colonel Deeds took a long look ahead. He replaced the tents with permanent classrooms, assembly and dining halls, cottage dormitories, and recreational facilities. The beautiful campus spreads over the shaded, breeze-swept knolls overlooking Old River and, of course, the parent plant. Today, it is more than a sales school. It is a famous school of American business. In whatever way our lives are touched by the business world, business machines, largely national machines, speed up the millions of transactions. Take shopping. There would be no giant supermarkets as we know them today were it not for the fast, all-duty checkout machines developed by NCR. Suppose some weird, impossible calamity struck us, the way they do it in science fiction. and suddenly every national checkout register in the world would vanish into thin air. Can you imagine what would happen?
Well, I hope you won't mind waiting. What's the matter up there?
She's slow today.
That'll be $4.79. Oh, just a minute. I forgot the tax. Oh, dear.
Isn't this awful? I like to take my time looking around, but when I get ready to go, I want to get out of here.
Thank you.
And then, when we call off the evil eye...
Well, thank goodness. 25, 34...
Now life picks up tempo again.
Well, that's more like it.
18, 24, 25...
It would be the same in a payroll department of any size at all if they suddenly had to go back to the old methods. Instead of a national payroll machine that does all the tabulating and calculating for her in a flash, now she has to look up and figure out each paycheck separately.
Well, Betty, how are we coming? Are you going to have the payroll up by noon?
Noon? I'll be lucky if I get it out this week.
What?
Well, look. Time cards, worksheets, regular earnings, overtime pay, shift premiums, bonuses, and the deducts. Social Security, withholding tax, state and federal, and who has hospitalization and group insurance, and union dues, and annuities. Oh, and there's community chest and government bonds. No two checks are alike, and you're asking me.
But we've got to get them today. How much more help do you need?
Well, maybe with 5 more girls, I could get it out by tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? What? Tomorrow night?
Now we'll have it out by noon.
Well, that's better.
Yes, I think most anyone would agree that's better. It's better in every type of accounting. It's better for getting out your telephone, gas, and water and electric bills. Whether it's the cash register that records retail sales in all kinds of stores, or the plain adding machine, or the accounting machines that are keeping up with the increasing needs and complexities of modern business. Each is the most complete machine for the job to be done, built to give all the right answers all the time. Our engineers have a torture room where they hook up machines to operate automatically 24 hours a day, year in and year out, to see if they can catch them in a mistake or wear them out. On a single machine, receipts have been printed, figures have been itemized, carriages have been thrown back and forth. Indicators have popped up 10 to 20 million times. Keys have been punched. Drawers have been jerked in and out. Name your torture. We have it.
Go to work all night?
Oh, is it that time already? So it is.
Got a letter from the kid today.
You did?
Yes, he's on leave in a place called Abadan. Look what he says.
Dear Dad, guess what? I was out giving this old Persian town the once-over when I came to one of those rug stalls. Oh, excuse me. These people call all Americans Johnny.
Johnny! Sahid!
How much?
Sada Bistaman.
How much is that?
pasado visto man. $40.
I'll give you $10.
Oh, Boro Johnny, Tomas Tarinisti, Allah Shahede, Sarami Konam, Kola Sarami Sari, Zono Bacham Goshnan, Allah Shahede, Allah.
Okay.
No, okay, $10. Tortito man.
Hey, National Cash Register. Back home, I help make these babies. Your loving son, Don.
Well, that's a good one.
Well, don't work too late.
Oh, I won't. I'm leaving now. Glad the boy's all right.
So am I. Good night.
Good night. It takes something like that to make a fellow realize, as far as this company's concerned, we are one world. Wherever you may go to the farthest corners of the earth, one thing American you are sure to find: the National Cash Register. Paris, Berlin, London, Rio, Canberra, Saskatoon, Hong Kong, Bombay, Singapore, Istanbul, Bangkok, Johannesburg. To most people, they're just faraway places with strange-sounding names. But to us, they're next-door neighbors. Makes you stop and think, doesn't it? All over the world, they're adopting American products. We're getting together that much anyway. At least that's one step in the right direction, isn't it?